Welcome back to Central Valley Talk. If it's in the close to 2 o'clock hour, you know what we're talking about. We're talking about real estate and home improvement. We've been having guests on telling us how to improve our house and keep the value and pick the right roofer and pick the right plumber. But my favorite part of the show is when we have real estate agents on who tell us about the houses they have for sale. This next guest, Charles Coker, has a tremendous house, and we invited him on the show to talk about it. I wouldn't say a house, but more of a property, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Thanks for having me here. It's
Sure.
good to see you again.
You've been at this a little while,
It's
huh?
been a while. Yeah, over 30 years.
Yeah.
And it's good business, like it. And I've kind of stayed at it, slowed down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But right now we have a property that I think is kind of special. Expect me to say that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's a 20-acre horse ranch. It's a 3,400 square foot, 6-bedroom, 4.5 bath property.
Right.
It's 15 minutes from downtown Clovis. It's off Highway 168. It has 4 stalls for horses and a wash rack and a pipe fence and wide driveways. You get stock traders in there if you need to. So it's good property. The folks I'm selling it for have been there over 30 years,
Yeah.
getting a little bit older now. It's a little bit more than they can handle, so they want to downsize. And they've trusted me to sell it. It's always a compliment. I'm happy to accommodate them. And again, kind of hard to find.
Which is all right.
Yeah, that's all right. I think.
But you got good access to the freeway?
Yeah, excellent access right off the road, and a good area too. It's very close to about 3 miles, I believe, from the little town of Academy. Everyone's
Yeah,
forgotten
sure.
about, right?
Sure.
So it's the base of the hills. Endless view of the Sierras.
Oh, yeah, you're right there where you can see the mountains.
Yes. And north, it has a view that I was totally unaware of, pointed out by the owner, of Table Mountain.
Oh, you can see the mountain.
Yeah. So you
On
can
a good
see
day, or?
Table Mountain itself. Most every day.
Most every day. Yeah.
The last couple of days, the weather changed a little bit, so it was a little hazy up that way. But still pretty.
Yeah, when I was, buying a house and my kids were young, we wanted a place where we could have some horses. I said, I'm going to buy at the end of 180 or the end of 168. Either of those, they're golden. Those are the golden spots because there's a lot of horse ranches between those freeways, and it adds an extra 10, 15 minutes on your commute.
Yes, that's exactly right. The thing about this property also is I've owned horses before, and they're great to have, fun to ride and take care of. But sometimes it's difficult to find a place to ride them.
Great.
And with this property having 20 acres, there's plenty of room to ride. So that's the nice part of it. What I'm hoping for is a young family will purchase this property, and it will be for the young family the same way it was for the folks that are selling it.
Right. That'd be great.
Yeah, it was a dream property for them.
Difference is it's all set up now, right?
It's set up, yeah.
That's the expensive part. People don't realize that.
That's exactly right. Well, that fence, a pipe fence for that acreage, would run over $100,000 these days.
Wow. Pipe fence, yeah.
Yeah, pipe
So that's not the one you're all fixing every weekend. It's a good, solid fence.
No, it's not. Just had it repaired. Had a
Yeah.
little couple breaks. The welder came out and welded it. And it's a little bit safer fence for livestock.
Yeah.
Barbed wire being, not so safe, but a pipe fence is safer.
Also, you can, with kids, you can climb that pipe fence,
That you can.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, I didn't think about it.
Is it-
Something I left out when you mentioned kids is it also has a swimming pool. And it has, very important to children, chicken coop.
Chicken coop, yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody wants chickens these days.
They
so,
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun for children or adults too.
Now, is there a barn place,
Yeah, there's a tack room.
pack room?
Yeah, and there's some small animal pens. So if you want to goat, sheep, there's plenty of room for those. And I think one of the most important parts of it is accessibility. You can get trucks in there and traders in there. And at one time, in ancient history, it was a bit of an equestrian center. And that's way back.
Yeah.
So don't want to talk too much about that because I don't know a lot about
Right.
it.
Right. Now, somebody wants to look at it, what should they do?
Yeah, just give me a call. My phone number it is on the screen. It's 978-8884. You can call anytime.
And your property is Ironwood Properties.
Ironwood Properties is the name of the company. We're a smaller company, and we like to keep it that way. We offer, I think, more of a personalized approach to service these days. The internet, nothing wrong with it, and it's nice to text message and email, but sometimes you need to talk person to person.
Face to face is good.
Yeah.
Especially when you're making the biggest purchase of your life.
Very important, yeah. And we still have internet accessibility and all the things that it offers as far as efficiency is concerned in handling a transaction.
Let me ask you a little bit about the market now. Things have been crazy for a while, up, down. Interest rates, I think, are great, 5 or 6%, because I bought my first house at 9%.
Yes.
But if somebody's out there and they have a house, and because of COVID and the crazy market, they've just been waiting to sell, and they don't know what it's worth right now. I know you have a hardworking team of realtors over there. Can they help someone with that?
Oh yeah, absolutely they can. I think it's a good idea to keep your finger on the pulse of what's happening in today's market. That's what we do. I'm looking at the market 3 or 4 times a day, as are my agents.
Mm-hmm.
And we're low pressure, so if you just want to talk it over, we'd be happy to sit down and talk about selling a property, buying another. And you're right, rates are up some, but prices have come down a little.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you're kind of staying even. We check rates on a daily basis. When rates started up, we were used to 2 and 3%.
Yeah.
When rates started up, the market stopped a bit, slowed down, and I think some of the properties may have been a little bit on the high side price-wise. And those prices have started to stabilize now, which is good for everyone. And the markets, as it always does in springtime, started to take off again. You've been in the business, you know the cycle. So it looks to be a good, strong market.
So it might be a good time to sell?
It's always a good time, and consequently, a good time to buy.
Good time to buy.
Yeah, put you in a good position to be able to pick and choose. I think that what we're seeing too, more properties coming on the market now.
Yeah.
So as far as if you're on the buyer side, it's good. It's a good time to be exposed to more properties.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're on the seller side, of course, it's always a good time to sell.
Yeah.
Springtime and summer approaching. We see it just for schools are out now. I think this last week, most of the schools will be out. I think Clovis is going to be out. I think for most of Fresno schools. And then the market will take a little bit of an uptick when schools are out. Again, talking to you, you're a pro. You've been through it all. But we'd like to offer people out there a hand. We'd be happy to do that. That's what we do. You know that. And I think they'll be happy with the service. Everybody has been so far.
Well, for our viewers, if you're thinking of buying or selling, call Charles Coker, Ironwood Properties. If you're looking for a horse ranch, it's a very specialized thing. Not everybody wants that.
That's right.
But it sounds like a big house, room to grow a family.
Yes.
And a little country living. But it's still close enough to town.
Still close enough to town. Again, 15 minutes from Clovis. Before we get away from it, let me add one thing about my agents. We try to address the clientele we work with by kind of price brackets. I have a young agent, she's 30 years old, recently married, and she seems to identify more with millennials and younger. Yeah. So you can kind of work with a person you feel comfortable with. Sometimes the younger persons, 20-somethings, feel more comfortable working with a younger agent. I understand. And more mature people, my age, your age, sometimes feel a bit more comfortable working with a little bit older person.
Yeah, I would need somebody a little more mature. And young people want a younger age, and I understand that because they're so full of energy. They pile you in your car and they drive you around showing houses, right. But you're still there overseeing the whole thing.
Yes, that's right.
That's good.
Yeah.
Last thoughts for our viewers?
Last thoughts, we're happy to work with you, and thanks for this opportunity. I want to thank you for that. And it's a good market. It's always a good market. We're very fortunate to live in this valley.
Yeah.
I think our market's a bit more stable here than some other areas, so we're very lucky to be here.
Very good. There you have it from Charles. I call him Chip Coker at Ironwood Properties. By the way, you could call him at 559-978-8884. Is that the right number?
That's the right number.
That's the right number. And we'll be back with more real estate and home improvement right after this.